There's a big problem in the content creator influencer space right now when it comes to reviewing influencer beauty brands. Real question is, have they already made their review before they open the box because of who Mikayla Nogueira is? Two things can be true at once. We can celebrate her achievements, but the beauty community still deserves honest reviews that are not politically fueled, that are not fear-based, and that are not rooted in the preservation of parasocial content creator relationships. The whole industry fuels off of this strategy. They have to maintain the relationship with the most powerful content creator on platform because one day they may launch something. Is that more important than their own integrity? It's a really big question. Honestly, I can understand their positionality because guess what? I'm in a very similar position, aren't I? Do I say I love it because I really want to support Mikayla and I really want to support the influencer to founder story? Or do I say exactly what I feel about every single product, even if it's negative, knowing that it's going to burn a bridge permanently because nobody's going to forget that. And here's the thing. Mikayla knew in launching a brand that over 16 million people were going to come for her, either with love or hate or something in between. She knew it, and that's a huge burden for any single human being to have to grapple with. I want to congratulate her first and foremost for even doing it. Regardless of anything that anyone says, you deserve to be celebrated for launching this. It's a big deal. It's a big day. I wanna know why Korea. I don't just mean Korea is the best at skincare. I wanna go deeper. And I know Mikayla is deeply passionate about beauty. The passion and love for beauty and makeup is something we bonded over. And that passion is real. I wanna believe there's more to her voice here. We just haven't seen it yet. I made in Korea. Why Korean inspired ingredients? Borrowing the ingredients, the buzzwords, the textures of K-beauty that makes it so famous. Not the same as embodying the actual philosophies that have powered K-beauty's popularity today. You've been following our content for the last 2 years. You know that we've worked really hard to unearth the narrative of what it means to be made in what region and why that makes it special. We're going to evaluate this through the incredible lens of product development. This is where we have to examine every single thing about these products. You deserve a thorough evaluation from a product developer that's not afraid to ask questions. Do you have a favorite to evaluate the out of it? I'm gonna go Amp It because it can be before or after. But then for the face, it's Drench It, it's Drip It, it's Whip It, and it's Glaze It. At $22, Amp It has a pinky tone. You can see it flow through the silicone tip applicator. It has my favorite raw material in it, the bi-diglycerol polycyclopeptide 2. That's #1 ingredient. I love this raw material so much I have a jar of it because it wraps the lips. This is used in a ton of lip products. The thing that I am upset about with Amp It, personally, the next ingredients inside, hydrogenated polyisobutene, those are thicker raw materials. They're richer, they're more viscous. It's almost like they're neutralizing this wrapping sensation. So for me, I'm actually missing the cushion of Amp It, but it does feel a little heavy and rich on my lips. I would not put this on prior to applying lipstick. I would use this at night. I love the Squeezy 2 pack, and it feels newer and like a fresh take on lip balm packaging. Definitely for me in my head, more of a lip mask, lip treatment replacement. Drench It. Here she is. The minute that I saw Drench It, I thought of Rhodes glazing milk. Interesting because Mikayla really hybridized a variety of trends with Drench It. It's a soothing, priming milk meant to prime, plump, hydrate. The story here is the fermented rice water. The texture here though is really, really watery and thin. You have to understand that Rhode is much thicker. It's a proper milk. This product, Mikayla's POV, is a much thinner essence, which is definitely a la K-beauty philosophies. The rice water, however, is way more SK2 Japanese inspired. I'm sure we can all discuss in the comments if we feel Japan more so owns rice water like SK2 or if more of the Korean style brands own the rice water. But this is the texture story here, and the rice water is all about glow, hydration, and soothing properties. I already can feel tack on my skin, which to me personally, it's not my favorite feeling, but this is a very thin, watery layer. When I have something this thin, I prefer spray, Laneige Cream Skin.
But one of your favorites, Ilias, are in a bottle that looks like Drench It.
Exactly. This is the base face. I love this. I've also seen Mikayla use this loads. This has a thicker viscosity, look. And this serves both purposes. $36, Drip It. Really potent, by the way. Really potent. This is the most potent product in the line. Hailey Bieber didn't do anything as potent as Drip It, the Nourishing Glow Serum, her original line. This is the MVP for me. This has everything all 4 of these skincare products have, which for me begs the question, if I'm getting such intense hydration from this serum and I'm getting the high levels of niacinamide, and look at that like milky veil texture, this gel-like texture, my question becomes, do I really need the rest of these products? Do I need this tacky style soothing priming milk without a spray pump?
This is distracting me on your face.
Sorry. But it's so you can see the texture, the viscosity. You can see how it drips. It's quite thin. There is panthenol, niacinamide. There's also glycerin, intensely high up on this IL. And there's even a little bit of tack and adhesion in some of the other raw materials in here that you'd get that priming experience for skin prep. This glow serum is Mikayla's take on what we've seen Glow Recipe do with niacinamide. We've seen on the market from Bioma, what we've seen Mixsoon do with Bean Essence, what we've seen CosRx do with snail mucin. She like mashed them all up in this really silky, thin serum, milky veil.
Like the way it feels on your face?
I love the way it makes my skin feel. I do not like the way it feels on my skin. For me, it's too much tack. It's too sticky. I feel it too much. Texture matters. So my oily skin queens, beware of the next 2 products in the line. We're gonna talk about them and we're gonna talk about why. My super, super dry skin queens, if you love a multi-step vibe, sure, you could go Drench It and Drip It, but really, with the 4 different molecular weights of hyaluronic acid in here and the high levels of potency of the niacinamide, the glycerin, the panthenol, you don't need it. That's just the fact. Next, the Whip It, $38. Genius. This holds your spatula, and even if you have nails, you could pop her out. She definitely thought about this. Heroicism of Whip It. This is a texture hero. This is where K-Beauty sings. When you look at this texture, it gives that marshmallow whipped cream vibe. Also looks like it has pearl in it. It is actually being driven by the emulsification system, bringing the 2 phases together during development. It's actually a little bit more of an old school emulsification system where it almost feels a little bit soapy. That's distinct in terms of a sensorial experience because that soapiness also feels really smooth, which is why it's a texture hero. For me, I've already put on way more than I would normally put on in terms of hydration because I'm combo. I don't need more moisture. So I'm gonna use the tiniest bit of amount of this product for demonstration purposes. The novelty of this texture is the sensation when it breaks on skin. I would use this type of a moisturizer at night in the dead of winter. If you have Ilia, you don't need something like this. Calling it the barrier bolster technology, that's just a marketing term. Great marketing team, by the way. I'm into it. I see what they all did. So my skin now has 3 layers of product on it. It looks pretty. It feels heavy and thick. But I know that if I were to put makeup on right now, bone dry matte foundation on, it would look better with this level of product underneath. For me, if makeup prep is truly the #1 thing you want out of this line, this is the product for you. This is Milk's Hydro Grip on steroids. 1 ingredient, adenosine. Way more anti-aging than Milk's Hydro Grip. Why call it glazing? And what do I think of when I see this texture? Glass skin. Even though glazing is not a term that was popularized by K-Beauty, glass skin's philosophy where it looked like your skin reflects like a mirror was popularized by K-Beauty. That's where we see this harmonization of globalization. Glazing is now a Western adaptation that Mikayla is getting inspired by, drawing from major TikTok trends. This to me is the least K-Beauty of them all. Let's just do 1 pump because I don't need any more. Once you break this glaze though, it feels like water breaking. They did do a really nice job to ensure that they maintain thinness. I don't care how thin you make your products. When you put 4 things on your face before makeup, that's a lot. Now, in theory, we're going into the spring in New York. I need a 5th layer. What's my 5th layer, everyone?
Makeup.
SPF.
Oh.
See how I yelled at her? I would now have to take a gel cream SPF or Beauty of Joseon or my Abib SPF stick, which I'm gonna do. My Abib SPF stick because it's the thinnest thing I can put on my face. And we need to put sun care on.
Why didn't Mikayla put SPF in her line?
It's just really expensive. Like you have to test at the 3-digit figure number and upwards to do SPF testing.
Wow.
I think she was being cost effective, right? And she'd have to charge a bit more and she needs to get an understanding of her audience buying. So now I have to put 5 layers on for me to effectively finish my skincare. For me, my priming step, I usually do in a stick format, like Milk's stick, because I don't need this. Sensorially and texturally, I understand the assignment of what they did and what the product development was told to do and what they achieved. To me, is honestly skincare I would more so want to use at night with this many layers.
Really?
Whether or not it's skin prep, that's marketing. Throw some face on. Okay, my usual face base routine minus Mario's skin enhancer because it's too wet and dewy. I had to go all powder. Mikayla is not trying to change the game of skincare with POV. She is trying to put her mark on a new positioning for marketing in terms of this skin prep story. And she is trying to make Made in Korea with this harmonized viewpoint where she synthesizes trends in this genius TikToker way that she's done on her platform for 5 years, which is why she's here. So all of this makes so much sense to me. Is this a Korean beauty brand? No. Has it aspired to be a Korean style skincare brand with North American facets to it? Yes. It's a celebration of her as a businesswoman being able to synthesize trend in this way for the market and being able to bring us these products. And also, as a content creator with her power, of course she's gonna launch a brand, everybody. And if you don't like it, tough shit. Because that's the next step in the progression of her career and it makes complete logical sense. Me, a product developer, I gave you my take so you can decide whether or not you're gonna spend your money on these products. But regardless, this conversation we're starting to have here is bigger than just POV Beauty. It's about evolving relationships between creators, brands, and their audiences, especially when they become brands themselves. If we want the beauty space to stay credible, we need to create space and accountability for authentic, real evaluations and reviews, while also holding space for celebration where celebrations are due. We have to be okay with nuance. Beauty, like people, is never just one thing.